Mais qu'est-ce que vous avez à klaxonner comme ça? Je suis prête. Avenue de Chavannes à Courbevoie.
Il faut traverser tout Paris, vous êtes au courant?
Si c'était à côté, je ne vous aurais pas appelé. Quel âge vous me donnez?
It's time to introduce our guest, the director of Driving Madeleine from Lyon, France, Christian Carion. Welcome to Arthouse Film Festival.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting my movie.
And really, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. Your film is quite an engaging, empathetic, emotional character piece. What was the inspiration for this film, and how did you nurture and develop it?
To be honest with you, it was a script I received by email by a writer thinking about me to direct it. And I read it. I was in a train driving. I'm between Lyon and Paris. And arriving in Paris, in fact, I cried by just reading the script. So I called the guy and I said, yes, this is the first time I'm going to shoot a movie I didn't write at the beginning by myself. But everything is there, and I need just to rewrite a little. But thank you, because this is a strong and very emotional story. I did it also because I just lost my mom at that time. So I was personally, in such a way, moved by this story of an old lady who can't stay anymore at home. And so I put many elements of my own life in the rewriting of the script. Also, I knew it was written for Renaud, the French actress, and I'm a big fan of Renaud. So everything was there for me.
I think many of us are affected by and programmed by our experience with movies, besides real life, like you. Driving Madeleine, first we may think, oh, it's Driving Miss Daisy. No, wait a minute, it's not that. Is it Taxi Driver? I thought, well, I remember Martin Scorsese getting into the cab with Robert De Niro. No. Could it be Green Book? No, it's not. It's something all its own. It's these two characters, Madeleine and Charles. It's their movie. Do those movies or any other movies affect how you shape or rewrite the screenplay and shoot your film?
You're right. We are all, I mean, cinema is an history. We have to remember the previous movie because, especially Taxi Driver. But the movie I watched by preparing Driving Madeleine was Duel from Steven Spielberg, because I love the way he shot inside the car. It's very difficult to shoot inside the car because it's too small and there is no many options. But with Duel, in such a way, Steven Spielberg give a kind of grammar, I mean, how to shoot inside the car. And I was very excited. I loved, first of all, Duel. And watching again this movie, it helped me a lot to prepare my own movie about Driving Madeleine.
So how did you shoot this? You basically, if I understand it, I don't know if this is the right term, but you have to create a mise en scène in a little taxi cab. A lot of challenges. So you invented a new way of shooting taxi scenes. It wasn't with I'm trying to think of the term, like projection, rear projection. It wasn't that. How did you do it?
First of all, Renaud, she was 93 when we shot the movie. And I said to my crew, I don't want to shoot really in Paris with a 93-old actress. It will be a nightmare. And driving in Paris is really a nightmare. So we decided to invent something else. So we were in the studio. The car was not driving. And around the car, we put big screen with a high definition and 4K. And 3 months before shooting really with the actors, we spent days and nights inside Paris to shoot, the real journey inside the streets, shooting on the right, on the left, the sky, in front, the back, to have everything normally we should see if we were really driving in Paris. We have huge pictures of Paris, driving in Paris. We make an editing to keep the best and to screen the best pictures which we did before around the car inside the studio. So with the actors, they were just sitting in a car, we didn't move, and they were watching around them the real Paris, but without being inside the real Paris. You understand?
So they're surrounded by video screens with images shot all over Paris. And when you're shooting them in this car still in a studio, it looks like they're driving and everything's moving all around them.
Yeah, it's very important for the actors because it's not, you know, when they play with green screen, because when you direct an actor in front of a green screen, you said, yo, please imagine there is a dog there and then a bird over there, and you have to play with the dog and the bird, but there is nothing on the green screen.
Tennis ball. It's a tennis ball hanging from a string, and you say you're talking to another character.
But in this case, everything was real. Even for Danny Boone, the driver, he really drives because he can't see everything's coming in front of him. So everything seems to be natural. And it's very important for the actors to believe in what they do.
So when a kid on a scooter bumps into him, he jumps, but it's really, you know, it feels like it's the real thing, but he's experiencing it on that screen right next to the cab.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's brilliant and it works beautifully. I mean, you did a terrific job. I want to talk about subjects and themes in your film. On the surface, it's a grand story of an incredible character, but then we see it's really about so much more. How life goes by in a flash, and it's about love and romance and that first kiss. It's very French, and also, but it's about women's rights. A middle-class guy struggling to make ends meet. The guy works 72 hours a week and he can't cut it. And living a whole life in one place. They both live in Paris, and Paris is a character in your film. And as you said, that with the traffic, it's a great character. It's a character of contradictions. It's beautiful and it's annoying, and you show all those sides, even down to the good cop, bad cop, the traffic cops who pull them over. When you write and rewrite and direct a film like this, do you want to pull all these threads into your movie, or does it all grow out of your two main characters?
Both. I trust a lot, you know. Frank Capra used to say there is no direction, there is no way to direct an actor. The best is, first of all, to choose the right one. And he was right. I mean, I knew that with Danny Boone and Lynn Renaud and Alice Isaz, who played Lynn Renaud younger, I knew that with these three main actors, it was a good start for me because I know them very well, and I knew in which way I can go with all of them, each one of them. So and then they invent, because I can, for instance, Danny Boone, you know, he's very popular in France, but for comedies. He's a very funny actor. But in this case, as you saw, he's not really funny. And he accepts to do, for the first time, a very dramatic character. We did it before with Joyeux Noël, which I shot 15 years ago. Joyeux Noël, Merry Christmas. And in this case, 15 years later, he accepts to be one of the main characters, but dramatic one. And in front of the camera, he invents some attitude, some many situations, because in sort of way, Lynn Renaud, he used to say, this is my second mom. So he forget us, he forget the camera, he forget everything, because he was with his second mom, and she has to go in that kind of hospital, and he knew that letting her going inside, he will never see her anymore. So everything. So we were, very moved by just shooting. Just most of the time, it was just one shot, not two or three, because everything was obviously given and very natural, and because it was coming from his heart. I mean, that Danny. So, and when this kind of thing happened, well, cinema is is so strong. It's a kind of well, it's exactly what I expect in better.
And you all had such an advantage because you've worked with Lynn Renaud, and Danny Boone and Lynn had worked together several times, and then he directed her in a couple of movies, and
Yeah.
then all that is before they come to your movie. So they have so much shorthand, so much relationship, so much, they know how to respond, they know how to read each other. I mean, you have a great advantage having all that. It's not backstory, but it's experience working together, all that experience that the three of you had working on all different projects together. That's a great asset.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And I work with that. I used the fact they know each other very well, because there was a kind of background, every time. And the atmosphere during the shooting on the studio was really funny, because they accept, of course, to play like it was written and so dramatic, but they need to laugh just after, all the time. The kind of balance, you understand? And this way of working all together was so funny, easy, there was no competition, they were just there to have fun and play and to defend the script they were very fond of and very moved by reading it.
They play together beautifully, and there's a lot of nostalgia and sweetness on the screen until we get deeper into Madeleine's story, and then there's this huge shock, which is when young Madeleine does something that's almost unbelievable, and every person who sees this movie will gasp. It's a real jolt for the audience. It's a real gut punch. So you have to perfectly design and execute the rest of the movie to pull the viewer back. And you do. So what about that challenge? Can you talk about how you faced it and how you pulled it off?
I was very excited by, the fact that there was a moment in which Madeleine decided to do something, I mean, cruel and very violent. But my job was to explain to you before why she had the idea, that kind of terrific idea to defend, to defend herself, to put her husband in a situation to be safe, in fact. So, and I love that kind of brutal changement of atmosphere in a movie. It's rather rare, in fact, because most of the time the movies are flying on a very clear line, and they don't take time to change, because I don't know if it's easier, but it's more natural. In this case, I wanted you to be in front of something very strong, very maybe difficult to watch.
Absolutely.
And for you to know, I have some, because I love to make avant-premiere and meet the audience. We make movies for people. So I spend a lot of time to talk with the audience. And some of these people, they told me, well, when it happened, I didn't watch. I closed my eyes. I wait the end, because I understood what she would do, and I don't want to watch this. So okay, I respect, and I don't want to, to make too hot, too strong pressure, but I wanted you, yes, to put you in uncomfortable situation?
It certainly threw me. And my first thought was, oh my God, this is too much. And my second thought was, now how's the director where's he go from here? So I don't know if everybody will have that feeling, but it was great to see where you went from there.
It was what kind of rendezvous for me in the mise en scène of this movie. That moment when she decided to burn the guy. I mean, not the whole guy, but and for the actress, I mean, Alice Isaz. Well, it's always very special to do that, but we did it in a good way. I mean, yes, this is a movie also about domestic violence. Domestic violence, more and more now in our society, we talk about. In France, since less than 10 years, we count the number of women killed by their husband. Before, there is nobody counts this, it was not specifically talk, but now each year we said 2022, I mean, it was 300 women killed by their husband. And I say, wow, it means something. I mean, violence inside the family, violence inside the couple. It was a taboo before, 10 years ago. Now everything is, because the law allowed, to a woman to say this is not a normal situation. I have to tell it. Which is very difficult. And in this case, in our case, it happened during the 50s. The 50s was the middle age for, the women rights. So women, in this case, most of the time, she didn't say anything.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating film on a lot of levels. It'll be really interesting to see how it's received in this country. Cohen Media will be releasing your film in theaters in the United States, I think in January.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate you and thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I thank Cohen Media to trust me one more, because it's the third movie we work together. And I believe in cinema. I believe in theaters. Theaters is the best place to watch a movie, better than on our sofa with Netflix. I love Netflix too, but cinema, no. I made this movie for big screen because I believe on the big screen, the emotion is higher.